Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to the episode of We of the Underhive. This series is dedicated to helping brand new players to Necromunda build their starting rosters and learn more about the game mechanics of their favorite gangs. And on today's episode, we're continuing on with our series of making starting rosters for your campaigns of Necromunda Hive Secundus. And on today's episode, we're focusing on the Corpse Grinder cult, the most notorious gang in the entire setting of Necromunda, for various reasons based on their equipment, their skills, as well as some of the other shenanigans that they're able to do with willpower tests against their opponents. So in this video, we'll be talking about their different starting rosters for the various factions that they're able to play in the Hive Secundus setting. And because this video is a little bit more of a deeper dive, I will put timestamps in the description box down below so that we can click and navigate to the part of the video that interests you the most. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about playing the Corpse Grinder cult in your campaigns of Hive Secundus. So first of all, let's talk about some of the things you can expect to see in the Underhells campaign. One of the big ones, of course, is that visibility is going to be a challenge for a lot of players because as you descend deeper into the depths of Hive Secundus, visibility also shrinks down the lower you go. It goes anywhere from between 18 to 9 inches, so it's going to be very difficult for you to do any long-range shooting as well as engage your target at distance. At the same time, regardless of what faction you decide to join up with, when you go into the Hive Secundus campaign, you're going to have issues with the trading for weapons and equipment and war gear, and same thing with recruiting members to replace any losses that you might take to your gang as well. Not to mention, insanity becomes a huge problem in the Underhells campaign, so willpower more than ever before becomes important to make sure that your fighters will become insane. And lastly, you also have to worry about NPCs in this campaign setting with roaming hordes. There's a combination of brood scum, termites, as well as gene stealers that you have to worry about fighting as opposed to just your opponent now. So now there's almost like two different types of threats you got to deal with when you're starting to play in the Underhells campaign. So once again, this also creates some unique challenges for players as well. Because visibility is going to be an issue, things like photo goggles and infrasights, anything that helps with your vision and helping out with visibility rules, it's going to be extremely important for you in the Underhells campaign. Flares are actually a really good solution for this because they're extremely cheap from the trading post. They create an area effect when you throw them, so it'd be a great way for you to kind of navigate the depths of Hive Secundus as well. And like I said before, because insanity conditions are in effect in this campaign, having good willpower stats is going to be more important than ever before. A lot of gangs struggle with their willpower statistics, so some of your guys are going to go insane as well. And like I said before, taking trade and also doing recruitment is going to be a huge issue. There are some ways to mitigate some of these by taking some Abyssal Ferryman teams and some of the enclaves that they have, but for the most part though, it's still going to be a challenge. In addition, when you join up with the Hive Secundus campaign, you have to choose one of two factions. You have the Archeo-Hunters as well as the Malstrain Allegiances. Now, both of these give you some additions as well as some bonuses and negatives for joining their specific faction. For example, if you want to take advantage of the Abyssal Ferryman team, you want to be an Archeo-Hunter because you have access to that. Otherwise, if you become a Malstrain Allegiance, you get 4 additional credits to purchase vehicles as well as mounted fighters and vehicle crews as well. Also, there's also a huge impact on the madness rules depending on what system you decide to go with, whether you're Archeo-Hunters or as well as Malstrain Allegiance. At the same time, depending on which faction you choose, the suffering you actually take to your trade as well as recruitment kind of depends on what phase of the campaign you're on, and depending on the faction that you choose, it's going to have a large impact on that. So now that we've given you a brief overview of what to expect in the Underhells campaign, let's talk about specifically how Corpse Grinder cults fare in the Underhells. Now, for a lot of gangs, close quarter battle is an issue, unless of course you're things like Escher or Goliath. But for the most part, for most gangs, they kind of struggle with close quarters battle. However, we all know that Corpse Grinder cults, this is where they shine. And the reason why is because they're extremely good at close combat. They have very good close combat weapons. They have a lot of high strength as well as high toughness. They also have a lot of skills to help them to achieve that incredible result as well. So because of that, you'll be able to go toe-to-toe with the worst of them. In fact, some of your Corpse Grinder cult fighters can actually take on a full-blown Malstrain Gene Stealer and still be okay. So that kind of tells you something about Corpse Grinder cults and how good they kind of perform. And it's not going to be a real problem for you for visibility because Corpse Grinders don't really do a lot of shooting anyways, and the shooting they do have access to is usually pretty short range, so those visibility conditions are not going to impact you as heavily, so it's not going to be a huge problem. Now, what is going to be a problem for Corpse Grinder cults, however, though, is the willpower problems. A lot of Corpse Grinder cult players rely upon their enemies failing their willpower tests in order to attack or to shoot or to charge a lot of their skinners, butchers, as well as their butchers, skinners, as well as the other fighters in their gang as well. So the problem that is not going to be much of an issue anymore because a lot of Malstrain elements like your Gene Stealers, your Termites, as well as your Coalescents, they have pretty decent willpower stats at 6 plus. So because that's not going to be such a huge issue for them in order to go after you. So that's going to be a huge problem for you. So your cutters, your skinners, your butchers are not going to be as invulnerable as they used to be when you fought against other factions. Now, with that being said, of course, it's also going to mean that recruitment and trading is still going to be a problem for you too. So being able to replenish your numbers if you take any losses is still going to be a problem, and that's something you have to find a workaround. So that said, we have 3 different types of roster to go over with our Corpse Grinder cults. We're going to start off with the Archeo-Hunters. So this list is called the Lords of the Pit. They are a 1,000 credit starting roster for Archeo-Tech Hunters, and we're going to talk about exactly what this consists of for your fighters. So first of all, let's talk about your Butcher. Your Butcher will be the leader of this gang. His name is Death Wears a Smile. It costs you 230 credits. He's got a Butcher's Mask as well as Plate Mail Armor, which will give him a 5-up armor save, and we're giving this character paired heavy chain cleavers. That way you get double the attacks on the charge in close combat. At the same time, you also have several attacks to those weapons. It's a great way to take your enemies out very quickly. He's also got the First of the Fray special abilities, so that way you can charge faster into close combat, and we're giving this character commanding presence skills, so that way he has larger group activations. After that, you're going to have a cutter in this gang called Rick Diz. It's going to cost 145 credits. This guy's got a Cutter's Mask as well as Plate Mail Armor for that 5-up armor save, and we're giving him a Rotary Flensing Saw, so that way you can take advantage of the Dervish special rule, so that way you get that additional bonus to hit when you're kind of swinging around 360, so that part is quite nice as well. And plus, not to mention, your Rotary Flensing Saw also has a 4-inch versatile trait, which would be quite helpful as well. We're also giving this character Killing Blows, so that way he can take only 1 attack, but when he does double the strength, double the damage, as well as double the main AP damage. And the reason why we're taking this is because you are facing some Malstrain Gene Stealers in this, so being able to one-shot those guys with a Rotary Flensing Saw is going to be absolutely fantastic for you, and also to deal with enemy vehicles as well, because that also applies to vehicles and you cause all kinds of problems for them. Your second cutter is going to be Corpse's Colossus. He costs 150 credits. He's got a Cutter's Mask as well as Plate Mail Armor as well. And we're giving this guy a Chain Glaive, so that way he's got that 2-inch versatile attack, and he can take advantage of that Dervish special rule as well. We're also giving this character Rain of Blows, so that way fighting becomes a simple action to him, so that way if he's surrounded by enemies within the 2-inch range mark, he can fight twice with that Chain Glaive and chop people apart. After that, we have our very first Initiate. This character's name is Deep Trock of the Flames. It costs you 165 credits. This guy's got Initiate's Mask as well as Flak Armor, and we're giving this guy a Flamer, so that way you can get a good template attack weapon. At the same time, if you manage to set anybody on fire with Blaze, they also become illuminated as well. And he automatically comes with the Infiltrate skill. After that, with the Impaler, which is another Initiate for 135 credits. This character's got Initiate Mask as well as Flak Armor. They're also packing a Harpoon Launcher, and they have the Infiltrate skill. And the reason why we did the Harpoon Launcher, so that way we have a nice high strength attack with pretty good damage and AP, and at the same time being able to yank off enemies off of like ledges and cliffs and off vehicles. It's just all kinds of fun as well. Our next Initiate's name is Zest the Muckers. It costs you 55 credits. It's got Initiate's Mask as well as Flak Armor, packing a Stub Gun with Dum-Dum rounds with a strength 4 shooting attack that they can also use in close combat. A Boning Sword, because Boning Swords are excellent melee weapons, and they've also got the Infiltrate skill as well. Our last 2 Initiates are Sinus the Sliver as well as Mal Abalet. Sinus the Sliver costs 65 credits, got Initiate Mask as well as Flak Armor. They're also packing Auto Pistol with Man Stopper rounds for that strength 4 rapid fire shooting attack, as well as using close combat. Also packing a Boning Sword for close combat as well as Infiltrate skill. And Mal Albalat's going to cost 55 credits. They have Initiate's Mask as well as Flak Armor, Stub Gun with Dum-Dum rounds as well as a Boning Sword, and they also have the Infiltrate skill as well. And because you are an Archeo-Tech Hunter Allegiance, you get able to take an Abyssal Ferryman team, and the one we're going to go with is one of my pre-made for the Abyssal Ferryman team I did a video on earlier. This one's going to be the Special Weapons team. It's going to be led by Telhart Cold Rain Taco, who's got your Ferryman Skipper. He's got a Mesh Armor, Plasma Gun, Stub Gun, Photo Goggles, and Fast Shot. Photo Goggles is seen in all visibility conditions, a Plasma Gun because, for obvious reasons, and they got Fast Shot so they can fire twice with that weapon. Then we have Cantez Crazy Shot Stone, who's got Flak Armor, a Grenade Launcher with Frag and Crack Grenades, as well as Photo Goggles, see all visibility conditions, and they have the Overwatch skill, so that way they can interrupt enemy activations with their frag grenade from their grenade launcher. And this once again is going to be your Ferryman rig hand. And lastly, our Ferryman Steersman is going to be called the Wild Beast. It's a custom rig with a mining laser as well as a grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades, and it has an easy turnover engine. And that's going to make up your Abyssal Ferryman team for this one. And for the Enclave for this, you can choose whatever Enclave best works for you. I would say either War Chest, so that the Tinker's Enclave, so that we get the War Chest special rule, so that we can buy additional weapons, or you can go with the Survivor archetype in case you gotta have any critical injuries for your gang. Our next list we're going to discuss real quick is Lord of the Pit, but this time taking a Malstrain Allegiance. So instead of having access to an Abyssal Ferryman team, you'll have 400 credits to buy a vehicle instead. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys, this list is exactly the same as the Archeo-Tech list we just got done talking about, except minus the Abyssal Ferryman team. But you do get 400 credits to buy a vehicle, so we're going to talk about that next. So the vehicle for this one, of course, is called the Meat Wagon. It is crewed by a Road Initiate for the Corpse Grinder cults. It costs 400 credits. Now, in case you're wondering where I got the Road Initiate rules from, this is actually from the Feast for Heretics, Apocrypha Necromunda supplement, and we're going to use a Cargo Age Ridge Hauler with some of the vehicle upgrades that came in that supplement that came out on the Warhammer Community webpage. You can actually still go there and download it for free. It's got a refrigerated container, so that way you can remove wounds as well as flesh wounds off your characters by doing a basic action by eating off it as well. We got a meat grinder on the front of it, so that way your enemies have to suffer a penalty for initiative checks to ignore from being ran over. And we're giving this a fist table, so that way you get some bonuses to some will as well as cool tests for your gang as well. And last, we're giving this thing Tire Claws, just to give you +1 on your handling. And that's what we're going to spend our 400 vehicle points on for the starting roster. And the very last list we're going to talk about is called the Lords of the Pit, with a Malstrain corrupted gang. So these guys have been now possessed by the Malstrain, and we're going to talk about exactly what this list consists of for your gang. So once again, the Butcher, Death Wears a Smile, once again makes an appearance. He's going to be exactly the same way as in all the previous lists, costing 230 credits. However, we're trading in both our cutters for a Malstrain Gene Stealer called the Limb Taker. He's going to cost 270 credits. He's got Mesh Armor, Razor Sharp Claws, as well as Venomous Bite. He's got a Bio Booster, as well as a Dodge, Evade, Nerves of Steel, and Rain of Blow skills. So this thing, of course, is one of the best close combat fighters that are available for a gang, and this guy's going to be able to tear it up for you, just like your cutters would normally be able to do. Once again, our initiates, Deep Chalk of the Flames, as well as the Impaler, they return, but equipped exactly the same way as before, except that we're going to give him a little bit more of a bonus. For Deep Chalk of the Flames, we're giving him a Flamer still, but he's got a Boning Sword as a backup weapon, and the Impaler also makes a return with their Harpoon Launcher, but we give him a Stub Gun for a backup weapon. Zest the Mucker, as well as Zionist the Sliver, also make a return, both at 55 and 65 credits respectively, and they are of course equipped exactly the same way as they were in the previous lists. And lastly, Mel Abelet, the Initiate, for 55 credits, is equipped exactly the same way as before, and same thing with the Meat Wagon that we talked about earlier, which is the Cargo Ridge Hauler, that also makes return this list as well. And that's going to make up your Malstrain corrupted gang list for this video. So in conclusion, the Underhells campaign is a brand new environment full of all new kind of challenges for players to engage in as we go further directly into the lore of Necromunda. Once again, remember, watch out for your environmental effects as well as your roaming horrors. Are going to be a huge issue for you to face on. And remember, a close quarters battle is going to be your friend, especially as a Corpse Grinder cultist, because that's exactly what that's the sea you swim in and the air you breathe is close quarters battle. So it's not going to be as much an issue for you as for other gangs. And because, of course, this setting is ever expanding in the Hive Secundus, expect to see some new content dropping soon. And that's good for this one. As always, please feel like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is invaluable to us as always. I am Commander Cheapskate. I will catch you guys next video. Peace out and stay classy.